Have you ever wondered why so many elderly people quietly slip away before reaching the age of 70, even though just a few years earlier they seemed perfectly healthy? It's not heart disease, it's not cancer, and it's rarely some sudden, dramatic accident. No, what takes them is far more silent and shockingly overlooked. After carefully reviewing trustworthy medical statistics, after listening to thousands of real-life stories from older adults, and after working closely with some of the top experts in geriatric care, I began to notice patterns, key signs, that most doctors tend to miss. And what if I told you this? One of the strongest predictors of how long you'll live after 60 isn't hidden in your blood pressure or in your cholesterol numbers, not even in how physically active you are. Instead, it lies in a deeply personal part of life, a part that very few seniors ever talk about. And sadly, many have quietly let go of it out of shame, out of fear, or simply because they misunderstood it. There's something people don't want to talk about, but it quietly lives in the background of so many older people's lives. Let me tell you the story of Mr. Walter. Walter is a 72-year-old man living in the suburbs of Colorado. He used to be an aerospace engineer. More precisely, he was one of those people who once dreamed of getting humans to the moon. Now he spends most of his time sitting by the window, looking out over a garden full of dry leaves and thinking about the old days. He eats well, gets light exercise, goes to his regular checkups, but still, there's something in his eyes, a kind of sadness, vague, unspoken. I met him during a counseling session at a senior wellness center where I work as a holistic health consultant. We talked about many things: sleep, the way his joints snap and pop in the morning, and memory. That seems to be slipping away, but then, almost in a whisper, he said, "I just don't feel alive anymore, Doc. Not because I'm old, but because I feel like I'm no longer a whole person." I sat there listening, and I knew exactly what he was trying to say. Even though he didn't say the words, the truth is, there's a silent epidemic sweeping across America. It's not caused by a virus, it doesn't spread through the air, and there are no TV warnings about it, but it's causing millions of seniors, both men and women, to live out their later years disconnected, emotionally numb, and estranged from their own bodies. I call it the epidemic of physical disconnection. Somewhere along the way as we grow up, we learn that intimacy, especially physical pleasure, is something for the young. We are fed the belief that getting older means our need for closeness is over, the need to be touched, to be held, or even to explore ourselves privately. And when you believe that long enough, your body starts to react. Blood circulation weakens. Your nervous system becomes less responsive. Hormones like testosterone and estrogen begin to drop, not because of old age, but because the body is no longer called upon to feel alive. Did you know? Research shows that disconnection from physical pleasure after 60 greatly increases the risk of serious health problems like heart disease, depression, insomnia, even memory loss and dementia. I've treated patients with nothing remarkable in their medical records. They didn't smoke, they ate well, stable blood pressure, but they were sad. They were forgetful. They lost a deep sense of being alive. And that's when I began gently talking to them about the thing no one else talks about: masturbation after 60. I know, just hearing those words can make people uncomfortable, but I ask you to stay with me for just a moment. Self-pleasure, also known as masturbation, is not something to be ashamed of. It's a natural part of being human, whether you're 16 or 76. And after age 60, it's not just a sexual act, it's a form of healthcare. You see, when you touch your body with love and respect, you send a message to your brain that says, "I deserve to feel." And that triggers the release of endorphins, those feel-good brain chemicals. At the same time, it boosts blood flow. It helps increase natural sexual hormones, especially testosterone in men. It even improves focus, memory, and sleep quality. Some of my patients, after a few weeks of mindfulness practice and regular intentional self-pleasure, experienced dramatic improvements in stress and chronic pain levels. One 69-year-old woman once told me, "Doctor, I never thought I'd say this, but I feel like I'm 40 again, at least in my heart." So, why? Do so many people avoid this? Because of the false beliefs we carry with us all our lives. First, that after age 60, pleasure doesn't matter anymore. But science tells a different story. Pleasure is an essential part of emotional and physical well-being at any age. Second, that masturbation is shameful or dirty. But in truth, that belief comes from a culture that has never fully respected the human body. Exploring yourself, when done with kindness and awareness, is not only normal, it's a powerful way to reconnect with yourself. Third, that saving up your sexual energy makes you stronger. In fact, gently and regularly using the body's natural functions helps them operate more efficiently. I once helped Walter go through a recovery program. At the Health Revival, we call it the path to reconnection. We started with the small things, creating a private, peaceful space. Maybe the bedroom, maybe a quiet bathroom with a soft candle. It doesn't have to be sexy or strange, just a space where you feel safe. Then we practiced breathing deep, slow. Breathing with intention helps the brain shift into a calm and centered state. Next comes body exploration. No rush, no destination, just being present with sensation, using your hands or a gentle object to stroke the skin, the chest, the lower belly, all the places that have been ignored for far too long. We call this mindful stimulation, a physical act with a deep emotional purpose. And finally, we practice appreciating aliveness. It's not just about orgasm. It's about enjoying each wave of emotion, each quiet heartbeat, each breath that carries presence of. Of course, this isn't always easy. Older adults face real challenges, unrealistic expectations, disappointment if nothing happens, shame, or fear of being judged. But I always remind them, there is no right or wrong. There is only being alive and living fully. When you feel discouraged, return to your breath, to gentleness, to compassion for yourself. A 67-year-old man once told me, "I used to think I was weak for needing emotion. Now I know. That sensitivity is my strength." And you know what? When you reconnect with your body, something miraculous happens. It's not just about better health, it's the return of self-worth. You start looking in the mirror and seeing a person, not an old man or an old woman, but a person who is lovable, worthy of living, worthy of being touched, of being felt, of being loved. This is not about chasing youth. No one can stop time, but you can choose how you live the years you have left with kindness, patience, and gratitude for the body you're in. If you're still unsure, let me leave you with this. Aging is not an ending, it's a new chapter where you no longer have to chase anyone, where you get to slow down, breathe deeper, and feel more clearly than ever before. That life is still flowing through every cell. Don't let the most beautiful years of your life be buried beneath silence and shame. Choose to live, choose to love, and choose to reconnect with yourself. Starting today, thank you for spending this time with me. If you found this video helpful, please click like and subscribe to The Health Revival, where we don't avoid the hard topics, but heal together and live more fully every day. May God bless you with health, love, and a body that is respected. See you in the next video. And don't forget, you deserve to feel alive at any age.